How do you start learning circle wheelies? What are some things to practice to work up to them?
That's a question.
No, to
Yeah, I wanna
practice
hear
to
these.
work up to them.
I need that strict.
I mean, first and foremost is clutch work. I'd say like learning the clutch, learning like
When you can pull in your clutch.
yeah,
safely.
well, just like learning clutch work in general while you're in a wheelie, I think is the
Huge.
key element to doing a circle wheelie. That's the main thing you're using while
Yeah.
you're in a circle, you know.
Yeah. And what he means by clutch work is actually you're pulling in your clutch like little by little and off and on.
And it's
throughout
throughout the whole circle wheelie
Yeah.
too. It's not just like initiating it. It's like you're constantly like working the clutch in and out, in and
Yeah.
out.
So
in
how do
and
you
out.
practice that in a straight line
I would.
or in a large recon circle?
I mean, if I were to go teach someone like one-on-one, I would probably tell them to like foot drag in a straight line and then just like work the clutch and just try to like get the feel of it.
Yeah. Real
Like slow, like very slowly, like a slow moving wheelie. Because if you have your foot down, it obviously it's going to help you side to side. So you can go really slow, which will in turn make you use
That's
your
scary.
I can't even
Yes.
touch the ground.
That's
Well,
scary.
What I would, I agree with him. I think you should start off like that, but I think
How come you never told me that then?
start off with your foot down,
No, clutch work.
clutch work, because you have your handbrake on the top. So doing it like
I know, but I could still pull my clutch.
not really, because it's in the way. You pull
No,
in
it's not.
You pull in your clutch, it's in the way of your brake.
Babe, no, it's
All
not.
right, her brake is like opposite, so
Backwards.
it's like on top instead
I
of
could still pull
the
my
bottom.
clutch.
But okay, yeah. So
He wasn't going to teach me clutch work because he thought I couldn't pull
So-
my clutch.
yeah, so the clutch work is necessarily only because your bike is going to want to stall out. So if you're feeling like your bike is like chugging and like just slamming down, that's why we say to use your clutch work, because you want to pull in your clutch when it feels like the bike's going to die.
Yeah.
Because when you pull it in, the bike wants to feel, it sounds like it's starting back up as you pull in the clutch.
So do you give it more gas at that point or no?
Well, you're going to be feathering it. You're going to be like lightly on it, and
Yeah.
on and off. And that's why you see like a lot of the new guys that are learning, they'll like the bike would tweak back and forth like this because they're clutch working, braking. So it's a lot going on. And that's why it's smart to do it like he says, because it's easier to go in a straight line than to try and circle and
Learn
do
that.
all that.
Yeah.
It's,
And I would recommend like foot down is like just for that though. Like if once you get that fundamental down, I'd
Yeah.
suggest like once you're trying to dip into a circle, keep your foot up as much as possible. Just because it's
a bad habit.
a bad habit and I am constantly stuck on it because that's just how I taught myself. And trying to break that is very difficult,
Yeah.
and I'm still working on it to this day.
I do the same thing.
It's like I'll go into a wheelie like, all right, I'm going to dip this circle with my foot up. And then the second I'm like going to dip it, it's always just foot down.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You know.
why do you
And
do
it's
that?
and it's weird because like even if I try and put my weight all there to the left
Yeah.
on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
it helps a little bit, but for some reason having my foot down, just like everything lines up and it works.
Yeah,
better
everything just
that way.
like goes so much more
Yeah.
smoothly when foot's down, but it's just it's all mental.
Yeah, it's all in
all
your head.
mental.
So like you're so used to doing it with your foot down that you like there's a different way to position the bike.
Yeah,
like,
you
when-
like when you're foot up, you have your lean angle is more like
yeah.
you have more lean angle. So
Yeah, and you feel like the bike is basically falling over.
Yeah.
And then you put your foot down.
Oh, I see.
But
And
it's
then
really like that's where the bike wants to be.
yeah,
You
and
know
like
what I
when
mean?
you have your foot up, you can almost be like in the center of the tire and just like creep
Yeah.
it around.
Exactly.
So like
You can
when you're
do,
yeah,
you can
like-
do wider circles
Yeah.
because the bike is standing straight up. You know.
Like when you see, like if you see Joey dip a circle, like
It's
his
lean.
bike is like,
yeah,
it's leaned
crazy.
over.
he's like on the sidewall, but that's
Yeah.
where the Harley wants to be,
Yeah,
is like on that sidewall for it to dip
yeah.
and like be comfortable.
And it's scary like that too, because you do any mess up, it's gonna want to eject you. It's gonna high side,
Yeah,
just
it's
like
gonna
a
wanna high side
drift.
you out,
Like
yeah.
you know, like if you're not that good at drifting, and you're drifting really low, and you mess up, it's gonna want to high
You have to
side.
commit to the gas when you get
Yeah.
that dip.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the scariest part.
Yes.
So on Harleys, do you learn like street bikes with wide circles first, and then just start going smaller and smaller?
You can if you're starting to get better at the straight lines.
Yeah.
You could just start going
Is
wider.
Is that how you learn on the Harley?
No, I mean, yeah,
Or
not
did you
really.
just dip it in, like commit and
I
dip
feel like it's harder
No.
like that because you're having to keep the bike running
straight.
like, you know, because it wants to chug out. So it's harder to just keep riding it like that. You
Yeah,
know?
I agree with you on
Yeah.
that for sure. I think I think
'Cause it just had
learning.
the momentum.
Yeah, and I think learning, you definitely do the straight line thing, and then once you got the clutch work down, just try to dip with the foot up,
Yeah.
and just get the feel for it. Like you're definitely not gonna go all the way around your first try, you know, like that's not gonna happen. But you'll definitely it'll just help you progress, I think, faster mentally
Yeah.
If you don't,
Sure.
with the foot up, you know.
then you don't have to break that bad habit.
You don't
later.
have to
Yeah.
break the bad habit.
I'm having
like
to
I
break
do.
that bad habit. And
Yeah.
it sucks because,
It's like relearning.
Yeah.
yeah.
You feel like you already know how to circle, but then you don't with your foot up.
Yeah.
And that one too is like a mental thing for me because my leg has been fucking crushed so many times. Like
From having it out.
no, from like just other situations. Like I've broken this leg like 3 times already
Damn.
down below, and there's like a bunch of metal in it. So, like my mental is like, it's a bad thing, but going into a circle, I always like,
Envision that.
I always envision like the bike sliding out, like when I go to dip, and just crushing my leg.
Yeah. How do
You
you
know?
break that mental, like,
I have yet to figure that out.
yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
on that one though, dude.
I know
like,
what you mean because I go through like mental like blocks like that. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, how do you even like not think about the negative shit that could
Yeah.
happen, you know? But I think you kind of just have to get in the rhythm, maybe listen to some music or something, just like,
Yeah,
you know, like kind of like you go to the gym, you have to listen to music to work out. Or I'm the type of person that likes to listen to music and work out, but at the same time, I like to hear my bike.
I have a
So
tip. So
What's that?
you know when it's going to happen. You know when that thought's going to come in your head. You just said it.
yeah,
So
definitely.
come up with a mantra that is positive that you like and say that over and over and over around that time when you know it's going to pop in your head.
Yeah, for sure.
And then eventually it'll rewire the circuits in your, this is real science. It'll
She's getting scientific on
it'll
this.
rewire the circuits in your
full-on
brain, the neuron circuits
scientist.
in your brain,
Yeah.
and it'll start saying the positive
No,
shit.
for sure. I definitely